Well, for more on this, David Papp joins us now from Edmonton in Canada. He's an independent technology and cybersecurity specialist. Welcome back to the program, David. Now, previous hearings before US lawmakers have focused on just how big these big tech companies have become. They've focused on privacy concerns, but this time around they're looking at Section 230 of the US Communications Decency Act, which basically gives legal protection for these companies against any inappropriate content that's posted by their users. Can you tell us more about why these companies say that this law is essential for their businesses?
Section 230 essentially has allowed the internet to flourish and become what it is right now. If you get rid of Section 230, there's no longer any protection against what other people happen to post on these platforms, and if they become potentially liable for that, they're just simply going to go and block and censor much more data than we're seeing right now, in order to avoid, very expensive lawsuits and further legal problems. Honestly, I agree that perhaps there should be some updating to Section 230, but they shouldn't be getting rid of it.
Well, that's right. So we heard there from the Twitter CEO, Jack Dorsey, who says that Section 230 is essential to the freedom of speech. But the Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, I think has separated himself from the pack, basically acknowledging that perhaps this section does need to be updated to preserve its original intention. What was or what is the original intention of this particular provision?
Well, essentially, it's the entire thing behind freedom of expression, and many people have used that. The problem with these platforms is that they have billions of users now globally, and they're multi-jurisdictional. So these platforms are having to comply, as you alluded, with the privacy that happened recently, and there was all of GDPR that came out, and that was specific to the European Union. So now, the problem that we're having is the politics, right? So we have the upcoming elections. They feel that there was fake news that was disseminated in prior elections, and there's concerns that it's kind of got some anti-conservative tones and biases that are occurring right now with the censorship that's occurring on some of the posts. So the concern with Section 230 is who has the liability, if there is anything, for posting content on a public global forum like that. These platforms are global, and who's going to moderate that? Who's going to restrict it? And what happens when you restrict the wrong content? Like, somebody's always going to be upset.
Now, as you pointed out there, some Republican lawmakers say these big tech companies are using Section 230 to censor conservative views by taking down posts from people like Donald Trump and other outspoken figures on the right side of politics. But how does this happen under Section 230? Why do these Republicans say that it is this law that allows that?
Well, the law which allows freedom of expression should be anything that isn't illegal. So in that case, you have to be careful with harassment, hate, and other topics that get posted on the platform. In this concern, I believe there was a tweet that President Trump had put out, and it had to do with the flu being a lot worse than COVID-19. And it was some statement like that. And then Twitter decided to go and put a fact correction on that tweet, indicating that that wasn't true. And this is where they're feeling that there's some censorship occurring, which unfortunate is because of the upcoming elections. Otherwise, this wouldn't be such a big deal.
Okay, well, let's see what comes of these hearings. David Papp in Canada, a pleasure as always. Thank you.